What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Yana here, back with another video. For those who don't know me, I am the Crafty Notary. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. And I have a couple of housekeeping things to get into before we talk about the topic of this video. So first of all, Notary Calculator is down, okay? After the last video where I offered the code for half off, someone made a purchase and then they informed me that the link had been deleted. Now, I don't know if I deleted the link to the calculator or if someone else deleted the link, because stranger things have happened or has happened with the calculator where someone was in the master file, updating, adding stuff, deleting stuff. And so I'm confused as to whether I accidentally deleted the link, because not only was that link gone, but the link to my personal calculator was gone from the drive. And so right now it's down. I do have a copy of the calculator, thank God. And I'm just not sure if I am going to be able to upload it back in its original form. I'll need to go through it and look at it. I'm also looking at other alternatives for how to present it to you all, because it's such a helpful tool. And like I said, mine is even gone. And so all the notes that I had on mine for how I price things like estate planning packages and attorney packages, that's all gone. So I will definitely keep you guys posted on what happens with the Notary Calculator. So that's one. Number two, my office is coming together. So my office slash crafting room is finally coming together. For those who don't know, I moved at the end of last year, and this part of my house is a bonus area, which has turned into now my workstation, my full-time work over here. My notary stuff is right here to this side, and then my crafting will be back there. So when I am called the Crafty Notary, when I say crafty, I'm crafty. This is not just some made up name that I came up with because I thought it was cute. No, I'm very crafty. Like, I made that. I painted that picture back here. There's also a picture over here that I painted. And so like I saved these flowers from Christmas. This is a poinsettia. So one of my Cricut machines is there. So I'm just not crafty in name. I'm really legit crafty. I also made that bottom piece as well, the summer vibes piece too. So yeah, just not just crafty in name, very crafty. So let's talk about this video. So as I stated, my husband and I purchased this home last year. We closed on it last December. And due to the rates dropping below where we bought it, we decided to refinance. We had the option. Someone called us from the servicer that we're with, and they gave us the option to refinance now for a lower rate. And as long as it was beneficial to us, then it was something that we could do, and it was. So the our payment's gonna drop, the rate's gonna drop, it's gonna save us a bunch of money in interest, and so we decided to go with it. Okay, so I knew that we were gonna have to have a mobile notary, and we had a mobile notary, in fact, when we closed on our home, because we closed with the builder, which was Lennar. And they sent out a mobile notary when we lived in Wesley Chapel, and we met them like at the Raining Berries location. If any of you guys remember coming there for one of the Saturdays that I had an event there, she met us there, and she wasn't bad. I can tell that she had been a notary for a really long time, and she wasn't bad. She didn't do things the way I do things, but she wasn't a bad notary, right? So we closed and everything was fine. We got funded. Everything went off with a hitch. So we get to this refinance, and they're like, I know the company that sources the mobile notary, I also work for, okay? And I'm very familiar with their paperwork, their practices, and the servicer. I also have done packages with this servicer as well. And so I knew that we were going to get a mobile notary, and I said, okay, that's fine. And they scheduled the notary to come out. So the signing service is also a title company. So they have their own in-house signing scheduling. And they sent me an email saying, this is the notary's name. This is the day they're going to come out. This is the time you chose. So the time and day is set up by the lender. Okay. So this is a little inside information, because sometimes you get to the signing and people are frustrated and you don't know. They say they're frustrated at one person. You just kind of don't know the backstory. So you just kind of go with it. So here's some backstory to that. So the day and time of closing is set up with the lender. The lender then sends the title company the closing disclosure. So the closing disclosure is based on the day that you close. I already knew that because I'm a realtor. And because the interest on the closing disclosure is all tied to the day that you're closing. Okay, the interest that you're paying or not paying, right? And so if that day changes, now you either pay or don't pay more interest. And so the numbers change. So that's why they're so big on not changing the day, because if you change the day, it changes the numbers. So that is all set up by the lender. The lender sends their documents, their lender's documents, to the title company. Then the title company also has a package of documents. So that is why we get this one big old 120 page package, because you have lender's docs and you have title docs. Okay. And usually the title docs has their name on the top. Lender docs usually don't have any name, or it'll have their name on the top. And then title will have their company name on the top. And that's why also you get some documents that are duplicated. Like, for example, the signature and name affidavit. That's why you'll have two, because one would be for title and one would be for lender. So that's, if you ever get to a signing, you're like, I don't know why they gave me two. That's why. The title company has a requirement for one. The lender has a requirement for one. So that's just a little of the backstory. So the signing gets scheduled, and it was for last Friday. And I noticed that the notary never called me. They never called to verify that they were actually coming. The person never called to ask me, did we have valid ID? Was both parties going to be present to sign? None of that. Now, granted, they had my husband's name and my information. That's because my husband doesn't answer his phone. So that's why I did that. However, nobody else had any issues calling and asking for him. And I just explained, I'm the wife, blah, 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 blah. This person didn't call at all. And so we had no idea if they were coming or not. So on the day, at the designated time, no one's here. And so I'm looking at my watch like, they're late. And no phone call. So they finally show up maybe about 15 minutes late and take their time getting out of the car, gets inside. And first question I asked was, so why didn't you call and confirm the appointment? And they said, well, I had the wrong number. That's what they said. But I'm looking at the clipboard and I'm looking at my phone number. And I said, no, that's the right number. And they said, yeah, but when I called, like, this wasn't the name. I said, no, it's my husband's name. And I said, but my name is listed right here, because on the orders from this title company, they list all of the persons who will be signing. So you have an idea of who will be signing before you get there. It's our duty to call and confirm that 24 hours prior to the signing, because you want to make sure that people are going to be there on time, because again, the lender set this appointment up, not the title company. So you want to make sure they didn't forget. You want to make sure that everybody who needs to sign is there, because from time to time, somebody else may still be at work. The husband might be there, but the wife is at work, whatever. You need to make sure they're there all on board. And then you need to make sure they all have valid ID, because if they don't have valid ID, there's no sense in you even wasting your time going over there. Signings aren't that much anymore. So you need to maximize all of this. You need to maximize your time, and you do that by front loading all of the information that you need them to have. So when you get there, you're ready to go. So none of that happened. So he didn't know if we had ID or not, okay? Then we get to the table, and I asked, did he need pens? He said, they said no. And we sit down and we proceed to signing. Now, the first thing I noticed is that there is a black line down all of the documents. And I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. So if you can see here, see that black line? That's down all of the documents that they have for us to sign. And they sit down, they pull out their pens, throw the pens over there, take our IDs, put them to the side, gets their stamp out, and they start signing their name, filling out the notary certificate, and stamping. And then they pass that document to us to sign. And then he does the next one, signs it, stamps it, and then they pass it to us to sign. So they're not looking at the documents to make sure that it's signed in the right spot. They're not making sure that it's dated. They didn't hand us the document and say, this is the note. Sign here. None of that. Now, granted, we don't have to explain the documents. We don't, and I don't. However, what I do say is, this is the mortgage. This is the note. This is a signature affidavit. Sign here, date there, sign here. I don't just give people documents to sign blindly without telling them what the document is. They are free to read the document if they would like to, but I don't just hand them a document and just keep passing them and expect them to sign. And I don't do signings where I don't watch them sign. So I watch them sign and then I notarize and then stamp. That is what a notarization is. It's you witnessing their signature, verifying their ID, and then notarizing said document. Not the other way around. You don't notarize a document and then I sign it. That's illegal. Okay? So I'm already peeved. Okay? Because things are not, I was peeved at the line on the documents. And then they have a highlighter and they are highlighting where we're supposed to sign. And if you took any said loan signing class, they will tell you not to highlight the documents. The lender will not take them. Okay? They don't want them that way. They will take them, but they don't like it because you're altering the document. Sometimes that highlight, when it's scanned or when it's recorded, it shows up even yellow. That's supposed to be clear. It will show up as a black line on documents. So when you're recording documents or when title has to record like the deed or the mortgage, those documents go to the county clerk. And if they're not pristine, the clerk won't record them. Okay, the note is not recorded, the mortgage is, but they won't be recorded. The deed is recorded. So the mortgage and the deed are recorded. And if you have highlight on them, that yellow highlight could show up as a black line instead of an invisible yellow highlight. So that's why you don't highlight the documents. Okay, if anything, you tag them with little stickers like these in order to know where someone needs to sign. Or if you've been doing this for 20 years, as that person told me, then you know where they should sign. And so I tried to let them off the hook by saying, hey, you don't have to highlight the documents. I know where to sign. I work for this company as well. And they said, oh, well, let's just have it for me. And they kept right on highlighting. So you know what? I let them go. And so now I'm really peeved. But then it gets worse. We get to the escrow disbursement document, which I'm paying attention the whole time. And I noticed that all the documents was on letter size paper. And I know for a fact that this servicer prints documents or sends documents in mixed sizes, letter and legal. Okay. They have a little barcode at the bottom. It looks like this. This little barcode is at the bottom, and that needs to be on every page of the document. Okay. And so that one probably should have been a legal size document, but they shrunk it to fit a letter size page, which means the font is smaller, all of this and all of that, okay? But if you get those documents and you put them into Adobe, they will be mixed, okay? They will be mixed. Or if you use a PDF sorter, it's gonna sort them mixed. There's gonna be legal and there's gonna be letter. And they printed everything on legal. So when we got to the escrow disbursement, I was specifically looking for what the cushion would be in the escrow account. And guess where it wasn't? On the damn paper, because it was cut off. It was cut off. And it went right to the next page. And so I said, hey, this document is cut off. And he's like, oh, I'll get another copy to you. Never got that copy. Okay. So the signing goes on. We get finished. He goes through, or they go through. I don't like to call me he, but they go through because I don't know. They go through and check them to make sure everything was signed, and they leave. Okay. Now, the next day, which is Saturday, I get a text message saying, I need to come back and sign a few documents. Are you available? I said, yes. Can I come now? Okay, sure. So we get dressed fast. I'm cooking breakfast and they show up. And there's 3 documents that we had to sign again. The note, the mortgage, and the closing disclosure. Not sure why, not sure what happened. But initially I realized that the note was printed on letter size paper, but now it wasn't cut off. So automatically I think, they had the document cut off, and so it got rejected. All of the documents were cut off, but all of them aren't as important, I guess I should say, for lack of better terms. Some of them are more important than others, right? And the note, the mortgage, the deed, like those are all important. The lender's docs are important. Titles docs is just is part of the package. So all of them were cut off, all of them. And so I said, sure, come back. So they come back, we sign the 3 documents, and they leave again, this group of documents. Let me back up. So when they left the copy of documents the first time, this is how my copy of the documents looked. Can you see that? Bad toner drum. That's what this is. A bad toner drum. And you see the line? Because that line was on the other documents. So when he printed, or they printed the second copy, this is how it printed. This is a no-no. Absolute, positively no-no. If your printer prints out something like this, throw it in the trash, okay? Nobody wants a set of documents that look dirty like this. Not the lender, not the title, not the customer. It doesn't look professional. It looks like you just rushed and you was too cheap to go buy a dang printer cartridge or toner, a drum. This is the drum. It looks like this because of the drum. When you don't replace your drum. This is not the toner cartridge. This is the drum, okay? And so here's an example of it being cut off, as you can see. So this is number 10. If I showed you the next page, it would be number 14. So you can clearly see that this is cut off. So I was annoyed the very first time. And I thought, oh, awful, like awful. And I don't want to toot my own horn or say that I'm the best at whatever I do. I don't want to say I'm the best loan signing agent out there. I do make mistakes. I do. But what I don't do is give shitty documents. I don't provide shitty customer service. I call the client, the signers, 24 hours at least before the signing and make sure that they're going to be there, that they know I'm going to be there, that they know my name, so that they have my number. If anything happens, they can call me. I make sure they have ID. When I get there, I'm watching them sign to make sure they sign in the right spot, because I'll tell you what's part of customer service. Having to go back to somebody's house 3 times. And the 3rd time, they didn't even send them back. They just sent me an email and asked me to print the documents out, sign them, and then they sent me a label to drop them off at UPS. Now, I had to print out my own documents on my printer over there, and I got to drive them to UPS and drop them off. And guess who didn't get a signing fee? I didn't. I didn't get part of the signing fee, and they got 2 signing fees. They got a double. They got more than the first one because the title company thought they messed up the documents until I told them, no, you didn't mess that up. They thought that they emailed the documents with yellow highlighter. And I said, no, they highlighted the documents. So they were out of a lot of money. They paid extra money to send this person back to my house a second time, screwed up the documents again, and I had to do them a 3rd time. So when I tell you that we shouldn't be listening to all the chit chatter in your ear about people who say in these groups, and again, I'm out of a lot of these groups. I don't frequent them anymore. I don't respond in them anymore because it's really a bunch of bitter people who are not really making money in notary in their business at all. And they're upset that the signings are $100 and $200 because that's all the business that they can get. They don't have a Google business profile. They don't have a website, and all the business they can get is from that signing service. And if they don't get $200 a pop, that's all they're going to get in a month. Okay. That's all that's all what they're doing. That's it. That's the only thing they're doing. Because let me tell you something, $50 adds up, $75 adds up, okay? Even $40 adds up to something substantial if you do enough of them, if you have the time to do enough of them. But no matter how much the price is, you should always take pride in what you do. You should take pride in the brand and the name that you have created for yourself as a business. Now, if you want to work full time and you do this on the side as kind of a hobby, then don't do loan signing. Just do regular notary work for your friends, for your family, for neighbors, blase splee, whatever. Do that on the side like that. Don't do loan signing because it's assumed that you're doing this as a business when you're doing loan signing, not as a hobby. And it's expected that you will come and be professional and you perform to that standard. And nobody wants documents that looks like that. And nobody wants someone to make an appointment and then show up 15 minutes late without even calling. And no one wants someone, just random person showing up to their house and you don't know who they are from Adam. You've never even heard their voice. So how do I know? If I would have heard his voice on the phone and they get to my door, then I could know that they're the same person. Right? But I don't even know that. Now, I could have asked for ID because I had the name. But most people do not ask for ID. So that's the lesson that's learned here. There is no shortage of notary work. What there is a shortage of is notaries that know what the hell they're doing. That's what there's a shortage of. Because there's plenty of work out here to be done if you're doing it correctly. There's a lot of people out here that just are not doing it correctly. Okay? So, yeah, that was just totally bad. I did share my experience with the title company because I'm put out, I'm put out, but I did share my experience with the title company. And another thing I wanted to mention was filling out the notarial certificate at the table will wait while, and then having the person sign is done so that people try to save time. Let me tell you how you save time. You fill out the notarial certificate at home. And then when you get in front of the signer, you give it to them to sign. They give it back to you. You sign it and then make your stamp. That's it. You fill everything else out before you get there. You put in the venue, you put in the name, the date, blah, 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 blah. You just don't sign it. You can print your name. You just don't sign it and you don't stamp it until they sign first. And you will save time in your signings. This is another reason why I don't teach anymore, because people just don't want to learn. Some people just want to have you do, and they don't want to take the time to do themselves. And they're not serious about the business. My business is 100% serious. It 100% makes money every single month. Even last month, where I lost a client that I was working with regularly, I think what happened is they had a notary there. I think that person may have gotten Ron certified. And if they did, that's great. You know, that's really great. I don't feel bad or mad or sad about that. But they were a really big client to me, right? They kept me really busy. And I'm okay with that as well, because again, I work full time and my schedule at work has picked up. And so the times that I can actually do runs have changed and shifted. So I'm okay with that. But in a month like last month where that client was gone and I didn't make hardly anything, I still made money because I still have my Google. I have people reaching out to me on Google. I still have other clients that do find me or do use me over and over again. So my business is absolutely serious and I absolutely make money. Okay, so I'm not here making money off of any students or any class or any calculators or anything. I make my money in my business. And it's not my bread and butter currently. My full-time job is. But when I retire, this will be what I do full-time to occupy my time, or however much time I want to do it, because this will be what I do into retirement, you know, for some income and for just frankly for something to do. So, all right, I'm done. This is not a rant. It's just to let you know that there are good notaries out here and there are less than good notaries out here. And you can choose which notary you want to be. My information's still out there. I still do answer my phone. I still do answer questions. Now, I'm not saying pick up the phone and call me because I probably won't answer at this point, but you are free to email me. You're free to DM me at The Crafty Notary on Facebook. And I absolutely will respond. Absolutely, if you're serious. So if you're not serious about this, just don't bother. Don't bother at all. Yeah, so there it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent with posting videos when I have things to talk about. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.